welcome to this week's video. For this week, I'm going to do my wrap-up for the month of June. And for this wrap-up, I only have 2 books, but they were the 2 books that I read and finished. There were no DNFs this month. I don't know, I'm not one of those people that'll read like a book a day, or like I see some wrap-ups where they have like 20 books for like the month. I don't know how you people do that, but alright, you do you. I am not able to read that fast, and between like writing my own novels and just day-to-day life, I don't have time to read that many books. So for me to be able to read and finish 2 books this month is like really good for me, because when I have like wrap-ups with more books, it's usually books that I've liked and or like sort of DNF'd a lot of the time. So because life's too short to make yourself read books that you're not enjoying. So I'll give them a shot, and then if I don't like them, I DNF them and move on to the next one. But if I think that they're decent enough to sort of explain why I DNF them, then I'll talk about it. Or if I have a particular burning hatred for why I DNF them, then I'll talk about it. But otherwise, yeah, I just sort of give it a few chapters and then sort of move on, and then like don't count it in my wrap-up. But this month I read fully 2 books that I completely enjoyed, and I'm very happy to say that one of them was an ebook and one of them was a paperback. But they both have a similar theme. I need to marry you to get my inheritance, or I need to marry you to keep my mansion. So we'll start with they were both historical romances because of the whole I need to marry you. So we'll bring up the ebook first. Let me just get Emma Leach's The Last Man in London, a Rogues and Gentlemen Book 9 series book. So that's Emma Leach's The Last Man in London. I loved this book so much. I mean, this one is my A+ book. There was nothing wrong with this book. Dinah is in the kitchen. No. Dinah needs to get married so that she could receive her inheritance from her ass-butt grandfather, who insists that she marry a man of worth by, I think, her 21st birthday. Otherwise, she will continue in her life of poverty and no account, sort of gambling, cheating, stealing, just illegal activity that she must engage in to survive, because they are just that poor. And she is, I think, as a child, taken under the wing of this man who sort of teaches her how to pickpocket, how to steal, how to cheat, how to make money illegally. So she knows all the tricks, and she's very good. But now she has a chance for this inheritance, but she needs to find a man of worth, i.e. a man with a title. And then we have Ben. Ben, who is a rake, who is tricked by Dinah and forced to agree to an engagement. I think she needs to be either engaged or married by her 21st birthday. And so he's tricked into it. And he's, I think, a duke or an earl, one of those many hundreds that they had back then. And he's sort of sucked into helping her. He agrees to help her. And it's sort of like this developing friendship between them that I really, really like. Even though he really wants to make her his mistress, and she is not going to make that easy for him. She has no desire to be any man's mistress, but he gives her happy pants. So there's that. And I really, really loved their growing, like, sort of friendship as he turns from, like, this guy who's, like, pissed off at her for tricking him and cheating him into helping her. And he grows to sort of admire her and sort of help her make her way into society, because she is so not, like, she has no knowledge of sort of that world, and he kind of helps her navigate that world. And then they're supposed to, once she gets the inheritance, then they're supposed to end the engagement and sort of go their separate ways, but happy pants. And love grows from that, and it's beautiful. Like, the banter between them, like, it doesn't feel like forced kind of banter. It's the relationship between her and her guardian is just wonderful, and how he takes care of her, and how he sort of is very, like, protective of her against Ben, and then comes to respect Ben and want Ben to be with his ward, be with Dinah. That whole relationship was really, really touching and heartwarming. Yeah, so I absolutely loved it. As he's sort of, like, Ben sort of, like, starting to fall in love with her, and then she breaks it off because she doesn't want him sort of tied to her, and he is going to lose his own sort of he's going to be cut out of his will by his older brother, who is an ass butt, a complete and utter ass butt. And so Dinah doesn't want him to lose that. So once she gets the engagement, even though she's in love with him, she breaks it off because she wants him to be happy. And that's sort of heartbreaking scene when, like, as she's doing the whole fake breakup thing for society to see, he realizes that it is an actual, like, he doesn't want to lose her. So then it sort of becomes him being, like, brokenhearted, and then the guardian sort of, like, smacking sense into him, and then, like, him, like, winning her back. And it's lovely. I loved it so very much. I definitely recommend Emma Leach's The Last Man in London? The Last Man in London by Emma by Emma Leach. Completely, very much loved it. Recommend. A plus, definitely. I give this one an A. When the Scoundrel Sins by Anna Harrington. Loved it. Just one little kept it from being an A plus, and I will tell you about that. This one is Belle and Quentin, Annabelle and Quinn. And they've been friends since they were children. Then as Belle grows into a teenager, there's this moment where they share this kiss. But then like this fight breaks out where Quentin defends her honor, but at the same time ruins her honor because they're at this party and everybody sees that she was compromised by Quinn, even though it was just a kiss and nothing really more. But, you know, oh, the scandal. So then he goes off, and I think it's like 10 years later or something, and she has not been able to marry, and she is about to lose her home, her mansion. She is sort of the adopted ward, I guess, into this family. She was as a child, and before that she's known poverty, she's known just all kinds of hardship, and she is left, I think, the house, but there's a stipulation in the house and her inheritance, that for her to keep it, she has to be married. Otherwise, it'll go to her father, her biological father, who is this horrible, just piece of crap, horrible man. And she is desperate for that not to happen because she loves the home that she's grown up in. And so to keep it, she has to get married. So Quinn comes back, the lady of the house, lady of the mansion, who owns it, like, sort of at this time, or doesn't own it, but is sort of like the matriarch, brings back Quinn and his brother, or I think it's her son, to help Annabelle find a suitable husband. When really what the matriarch is doing is hoping that Quinn will get his head out of his ass and marry Belle himself, because she knows that they have been in love with each other since they were children. But circumstances and all that jazz have made them be apart. So Quinn comes back, and there's, of course, the Happy Pants return. You know, the Happy Pants never left. But the Happy Pants return as he's helping her to vet these suitors. And there's this one guy, Harold, who was so insistent that she marry him, even though she's good at, like, running the estate, and she has all these, like, dreams and plans for the estate. And this idiot Harold is like, oh, once I'm married to her, she won't have anything to do with that. She'll just stay home and have babies. And Quinn is like, you do not know anything about the woman that you are about to marry. And he, at every turn, he's telling Belle, like, don't marry this dude. Don't marry this dude. And she's like, but I have to marry somebody, and you are not offering yourself, because you have your own plans. You want to go sail to America and make something of yourself for your father, because that's what your father wanted for you. And so Quinn has sort of like his own dreams, that he's fighting the urge to stay with Belle because she gives him Happy Pants. And of course, it's not love, because it can't possibly be love, because he doesn't believe in love. And he only sees the painful side of love. So he's determined not to love Belle. And she comes to realize that she is in love with him, but she feels that there's no future for them, because he's planning to go to America, and she doesn't want to interfere with his dreams, and she has her own dreams, but that require her getting married. So she has a problem because Harold is an ass butt. So that's sort of the main like conflict that's going on, and I loved the banter um, between them, and I was again, I'm not overly fond of the whole like, oh, somebody's causing like all these accidents and trouble, and you have to find out who it is. Um, and when you find out who it is, it's just annoying. I just, again, like, I'm not a fan, but that wasn't what made me knock it from an A plus to an A. What made me is when Quentin finally realizes and admits that he's in love with Belle, is when she's kidnapped and in danger, and that's when the fear of losing her is what makes him realize that he's in love with her. I would have liked it where it's just like it happens between them, that after this great conversation that he has with the matriarch, where she explains to him that yes, losing her husband was painful, and no, their marriage wasn't perfect, but she wouldn't give up 1 second that she had with her husband to spare her the pain of losing him. And that sort of was Quinn's greatest fear, is loving someone that much that losing them devastates him, or devastates the person, because that's what he saw with his parents. When his father died, his mother was basically destroyed. So seeing that sort of made him fearful of ever loving anybody that much, even though he comes to realize he does love Belle that much, and finally he like gets his head out of his ass and realizes that he does love her, and that they are meant to be together. So I really, really enjoyed it very, very much. Sexy times, they're very much hot sexy times. So completely enjoyed it. Cannot recommend it enough. When the Scoundrel Sings by Anna Harrington, no relation to Kit Harington, as far as I know. So those were the 2 books that I read this month and thoroughly enjoyed. So happy that one of them, again, was an ebook, so we might be coming out of the ebook slump. Yay! Because last wrap-up had a nice, my one gem, I believe, was an ebook. I had books that I liked, I think, but the one gem was an ebook. And this month we had an ebook as well. So 1 ebook, 1 paperback, 2 books, not like as many as I see a lot of booktubers here read, but that's a good pace for me, so I'm happy with that. So that's going to be it for this week's video. I have not had luck with Audible. I have not had luck with my audiobooks for a couple of months, so we're in a bit of a slump there. But we're going to keep trying. Right now, what am I? Oh, right now I have going to be starting the Fortunes of Texas, Falling for Fortune and Fortune's Prince. I think Falling for Fortune is by Nancy Robards Thompson, and Fortune's Prince is by Allison Lee, and they're a twofer anthology from Harlequin, and that's what I'm going to be starting in paperback. In ebook, I am going to be starting No, not what I meant to do. McFarlane's Lass by oops, sorry. This is not what I meant to do. This is not what I meant to do. Oh, technology. Get the cover. McFarlane's Lass by Glynis Campbell. That is what I'm going to be starting in ebook. So, we will see how that goes. The Harlequins, two Harlequins, cowboy Harlequins, looks like. Yes, cowboy Harlequins are contemporaries, and McFarlane's Lass is clearly a historical. So, hopefully, we'll get some good reads in for July, my birthday month. Woo! My birthday's July 27th. And yeah, that's going to be it for this week's video. Follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/authorejamie. Like my Facebook page at facebook.com/authorejamie, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!